A 22-goal striker has slipped through Celtic's fingers after the club were simply too slow to act, and a former Hoops hero has not held back about what that says about the club right now. We have also got a transfer plea for one player supporters refuse to lose, a closer look at a target who might not be the kind of player fans think he is, and confirmation from a European club that Celtic have not even picked up the phone yet over one of their longest running targets. Let's get into it, but first make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Former Celtic striker Frank McAvenny has blasted the clubs in action as pre-season edges closer, with still no new signings through the door and the coaching staff situation yet to be confirmed. In just 3 days, Celtic's non-international players report back to Lennoxtown to begin preparations for the new campaign, with the squad heading to Dublin just over a week later to face Shelbourne in their first friendly of the summer. Yet, as things stand, there is still uncertainty surrounding Martin O'Neill's coaching staff, and not a single new signing has been made. Reports last week suggested Celtic had reached agreement with Sean Maloney and Mark Fotheringham to continue as part of O'Neill's backroom team, but no official announcement has followed. The same pattern applies to the transfer market, where interest continues to be linked on a daily basis without anything concrete materializing. Speaking on his Let Me Be Frank podcast, McAvenny said, "I've heard it's been settled with Sean and Fozzie, but they've not announced it. I don't know. The fans shouldn't be still wondering what's happening now. I don't understand. Get your fingers out. It's such a big establishment, Celtic. People all over the world are on the website waiting on something to happen, and they're not getting told. It's ridiculous." O'Neill was confirmed as permanent manager almost 2 weeks ago. Since then, supporters have heard plenty of speculation, but little in terms of confirmed news. With pre-season just days away, the expectation was that there would be more clarity by now. Instead, fans are still waiting. And as McAvenny's comments show, the frustration is no longer confined to the terraces. Now for the main story, as Celtic's delay in moving for a 22-goal striker has cost them a deal, with Elias Fillet now signing for a club in Belgium instead, after growing tired of waiting on Parkhead. Celtic had held discussions with the 24-year-old's representatives as the club continues to look for reinforcements through the middle, but according to Delta here, the process simply did not move fast enough for Fillet or his team. The striker wanted to leave FC Aarau in time to start a new club and get a full pre-season under his belt, and with Celtic's squad returning to Lennoxtown on Friday for the beginning of their preparations, Fillet and his representatives made other plans instead. He has now signed for Belgian Pro League outfit Ral La Louvière, with the move confirmed on Monday afternoon. This will sting given the situation up front. Martin O'Neill is in desperate need of firepower ahead of the new campaign, with Tomas Kvankara returning to Borussia Mönchengladbach following the end of his loan. Dyson Maeda may well leave the club this summer, having already attracted transfer interest, and Kelechi Iheanacho has still not signed a new contract. That would leave Callum Osmond as the only recognised senior striker should Celtic fail to get business done before their Champions League playoff tie. It is a frustrating story for supporters to read. A 22-goal forward who was open to a move lost not because Celtic could not compete financially, but because the club simply did not move quickly enough. With McAvenny's comments about urgency landing on the very same day, this story will only add fuel to that fire. In other news, Frank McAvenny's comments may have grabbed attention, but it is the World Cup that has thrown up a genuine transfer concern for Celtic this morning, with growing speculation around Alistair Johnston's future. The World Cup is football's ultimate shop window, and for clubs like Celtic, that brings both excitement and concern. 8 Hoops players are currently representing their countries on the biggest stage in the sport, showcasing their talents in front of millions of viewers around the globe, and Celtic themselves have scouts at the tournament monitoring potential targets, including Bosnian midfielder Ivan Basic. But while Celtic look to bring players in, there is also the very real possibility of seeing their own players attract serious interest. One name beginning to emerge in transfer speculation is Alistair Johnston, with rumours linking Premier League side Fulham to the Canadian international's services. Fulham finished 11th in the Premier League last season and are reportedly looking at ways to strengthen, and Johnston's performances on the world stage have certainly not gone unnoticed. For many supporters, losing him is not something they want to even consider. Speaking on his Let Me Be Frank podcast, Frank McAvenny made clear there is one player he believes Celtic simply cannot afford to lose this summer, saying, "That's the one guy I don't want to move. With Martin, Fozzie, and Sean, he's the one that changed it when he came back. He was the big one." Johnston's injury problems last season highlighted just how important he has become. His return brought drive and quality back to the side, and a defence that looked far more settled with him in it. With Dyson Maeda attracting interest, Arne Engels being linked elsewhere, and Reo Hatate's future uncertain, O'Neill needs players to build around, not replace. Resisting interest in Johnston now looks like one of the summer's biggest challenges. In other news, a closer look at Jacob Bruun suggests the Danish international may not be the kind of player Celtic supporters have assumed him to be, with his recent positional data telling a very different story to the reports linking him with Parkhead. When Bruun was first linked with Celtic last summer, the assumption was straightforward. A creative attacking player from the Eredivisie, surely he must be a winger, but a closer look at his season for Go Ahead Eagles suggests that perception may be wide of the mark. In fact, Bruun did not play as a winger at all last season. The Danish international spent the overwhelming majority of his minutes operating through the middle, with 22 appearances as an attacking midfielder, contributing 1 goal and 6 assists, 6 appearances in a deeper defensive midfield role, adding another goal and assist, and 4 appearances as a central midfielder where he scored 4 goals. There is little evidence from last season that Bruun is viewed as a natural wide player in the Netherlands. Instead, he appears to have evolved into a versatile midfielder capable of operating in several roles through the centre of the pitch. That could make the latest Celtic links particularly interesting. If O'Neill's side were to move for Bruun this summer, perhaps the intention would not be to strengthen the wing positions at all, but rather to find a potential replacement for Benjamin Nygren. Lastly, Go Ahead Eagles chief Jan Willem van Dop has confirmed to Kelzer here that Celtic have not made any fresh contact this summer over Jacob Bruun, despite the continued speculation linking the two clubs. Bruun has been linked again with a possible move to Parkhead after Celtic showed interest during the January window, a deal which did not develop at the time. Mark van Hintum recently confirmed that Bruun does not plan to sign an extension at Go Ahead Eagles, meaning the Dutch club are open to a sale if the right offer arrives, with the 22-year-old now inside the final year of his contract. However, despite that previous interest, Van Dop has now confirmed there has been no fresh approach from the Scottish champions this summer. Asked directly by Kelzer here whether Celtic had been in touch again, Van Dop said, "No message received from Celtic yet." This echoes an earlier conversation with Kelzer here when Bruun and goalkeeper Jari de Busse were both being linked with Celtic, at which stage Van Dop confirmed there had been no official offer, saying simply, "Not official offer." That does not mean Celtic's interest has disappeared completely, simply that nothing has reached Go Ahead Eagles this summer. Van Dop also confirmed there is interest in Bruun from a club outside Scotland, and when asked about his current valuation, told Kelzer here it is approximately 3.5 to 4 million euros. That gives Celtic a clear idea of the level required if they decide to revisit the player. That's all the latest Celtic news for today. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one. Hail, hail.